What is up, my friends? Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I made progress with digital distraction and with overcoming digital distraction and cell phone addiction in general. And just to start off, I've been able to overcome other addictive patterns in my life, and I realized the importance of constantly seeking to improve oneself by adopting better and better habits. And even though I have this realization that if I can improve my habits and get 1% better every day, that can compound over time into me being the best version of myself, so I can be of greatest service to the world, my family, to the creator and all. I still struggle for years with habitual, addictive, distracted use of social media and YouTube. Taking in too much information, not based on what I intentionally wanted to research, but based on what was recommended to me and what someone else had just posted in their feed. So being non-intentional and just scrolling and then getting, like, maybe picking up my phone for one thing and then getting lost into a cycle and a loop. So the things, I'm just going to go over the things that have worked the best for me, and this is still an ongoing journey. And I think the reason why it's so difficult for us to overcome our addiction to our cell phones is because they are a double-edged sword. If you were to just weigh the pros and cons of another addiction, like let's just say drinking alcohol or watching pornography or eating bad food, then you can easily, without any effort, say, okay, I'm not getting anything good out of doing this. This is harmful to me, and I'm just going to completely get away from it. But the thing about the phone and even social media, there can be a double-edged sword. These things can benefit our life. We can receive inspiring or uplifting information, or we can share our own inspiring stories to others. We can connect with other people. So it's not like we can just say, I'm going to put my phone away. For some people that does work, and there's a minimalist movement where people are going to just regular phones, but I'm not there. I use my phone for a lot of other things. So I'm with my phone, I'm with my iPhone. And for me, it's about, let me use these technologies and not have them be using me. So the first thing that has been working for me tremendously is silent meditation. And I was doing meditation for a long time, doing guided meditations, and I would kind of call that, Andrew Huberman calls it non-sleep deep rest. It kind of falls more in line with hypnosis, because you're actually listening to someone guiding you and you just kind of fall into that guidance. But with the silent meditation, no one guiding you on what to do, but you just follow your breath. And when your mind drifts off into a thought, you come back to your breath. You don't judge yourself for getting distracted. You just kindly come back to center. And every time you come back to center, it's almost like a rep at the gym. You're training your attention and you're developing the power of your own awareness. So I would say that would be number one for me, is just switching to a non-guided meditation. I set my phone, I don't set the alarm for 20 minutes, but I have the timer run up and I'll guess when the 20 minutes is over. I usually end up checking it, and it'll be like 16 minutes or something, and I'll finish out the other 4 if I have time. But that's kind of my technique there. And there's a ton of more information you can get into to get deeper into meditation techniques, but really just sitting upright, following the breath, and when your mind starts to wander, come back to your breath would be the most simple instructions on how to do that. The second thing is to modify the apps that you are using. So if it's YouTube, the one thing I would say is you can change your recommendation settings, because a lot of the people making content get these really addictive videos out there. If you are watching like for entertainment, then I would recommend to just go, and you can actually just type it in like how to reset YouTube recommendations. That way you can delete your history and you're not getting recommended all of these things based on your past. And if then when you open up, there's nothing fun to scroll to, so you have to use your consciousness to say, oh, what is it that I actually want to watch or listen to? And you're going to be able to self-direct what it is that's coming in. So you'll be more in charge of what you're listening to, and not just at the whim of the recommendations. And the second thing is to unfollow the people that are constantly posting things on your social media that might not be uplifting to you. So really just go in there and clean house and try to minimize the amount of people on your feed and see how that feels after a while. And it takes some, because some of those people might also be providing some value, but if they're providing some value but also a lot of polarizing things, a lot of things that might not be for your highest good, then you're going to have to just let go of that and start afresh and try to clean out some of those apps if you're not going to be deleting them. And the third thing is to find out ways to take pauses and breaks and structure your use. So it can start off with something like not using any technology within 30 minutes of being awake, and 30 minutes before going to bed, and then you can narrow that time down where you could say from 12 to 5. That's one way. So on a daily basis, you're having some level of restriction on your use. And then you can have certain days of the week where you stay off of the technology, take a full day break. And then you can also just say, I'm going to do a 7-day cleanse or a 5-day cleanse. And that lets you reassess the way you're using technology. And you're really going to be surprised at the way all that extra brain power, it's very draining on us to be scrolling. It takes a lot of mental power away from us. And so when we break that addiction, what you're going to find is you want to pick up your phone, you want to scroll, sit with that for a second, and then watch what arises. You're going to want to start to do research, because that mental power that's just scrolling to seeing what they're going to provide for you, if you just sit with that for a second, ideas are going to start coming to your mind, and then you start to pursue those ideas. It might lead you to researching something. It might lead you to calling a friend you haven't spoke to for a while. It might lead you to taking some other actions, and it's going to be able to redirect the course of your life into one that you're guiding and you're steering the ship. So the last piece of advice, and this one really worked for me pretty well, was you're going to envision 2 different scenarios. And one scenario is you continue to be digitally distracted, you continue to be addicted to your phone, you continue to scroll constantly, and you're just taking in way too much information. Your brain is not working at its highest caliber, and it's also leading to more negative thought forms, and for you to be more mentally exhausted more often, and you're not progressing in life, you're not following the same life path. And the second visualization is you imagine your life when you defeat the digital distraction, you overcome your cell phone addiction, you only are taking in information that you choose to be taking in that is for your own personal development and your highest growth, and you are implementing better and better habits like meditation and exercise and journaling before you do any outward scrolling or picking or using any of your social media apps. And you just kind of imagine how that life path becomes different, and you imagine like how good can it really get when you take full sovereignty over your mind and you have no just habitual scrolling, and you're really just using the device in the best way possible. And just kind of imagine those two scenarios play out, and then when you really think about it, it's like, okay, and then so start with today. So today is the day that you know, unfollow the people who you need to let go of, and then today is the day you reset your settings. Today is the day where you take breaks, and today is the day that you start to switch your habits and implement mini workouts, mini stretches, a little meditation session, or you do an audible book, or you dig into a book and start to, or type in the power of positive thinking. You start to take in information that's really uplifting you, and then you're replacing the habit of mindlessly scrolling with these better uplifting habits. And it's just day by day, step by step, to become the greater version of yourself. So I hope you found today's video helpful. If you did, consider just giving it a like and commenting down below. Much love. I will see you next time.